Does seem that there is a little bit more to this establishment over here, and the way people are talking about their embryos, and the way the lead officer, I think the sheriff, Democrats. There you go. Kind of creepy the way that people are talking about this place, the recipients, the clients, and the way the sheriff said that this place will continue because this houses our future leaders. And then one lady was quoted saying, "My little embryo is such a fighter." It's very creepy. Look, I'm just questioning because that's kind of like what we like to do. Well, those that like to think freely and don't just follow whatever it is information that any news media outlet is providing us to the general public. But no, it was really creepy because, especially the day they were quick. So that means that they already knew about this, and they probably, possibly, maybe, I don't know, could have been prevented. But as soon as that the explosion happened, the officials came out, immediately said that this was, a terrorist. And I'm thinking, I'm even posting, I'm like, how quickly do they know this? How is it? Or are they just propagandally putting shit out there again to try to make it look like it was a Republican or whatever? And let's make no mistake about this, all school shootings and all events and all shootings that have happened in the past, especially in the past 4 or 5 years, have all been liberals, have all been Democrats. And for the majority, especially the high school shootings, a lot of these young folks have been on antidepressants. So there you go. And this one, idealistic, doesn't believe in population. Well, let me see. Who am I thinking of? Let's see. Gates, Das German, the big scary man. Yeah, no, liberals are, I don't want to say it like this, but the most crazy, dangerous is some whacked out, spun off liberal Democrat with ideas of vengeance, and especially with this whole 86-47 stupid shit. They were protesting. They were on the streets. Everyone was like, I forgot where in LA yesterday, chanting, 86-47. It's like, you people, all of you should be photographed, videotaped, and arrested and publicly humiliated. That is just the most disgusting thing. Not even any one single Republican, not one of us is very happy about Joe Biden's condition with the cancer. And for the fact to have been progressed to stage 9, my friends, that tells you everything that a lot of us on the right, and especially the conspiracy theorists, are saying, hey, this man is not well. And he's obviously not well. He's not thinking properly. He's not walking properly. He's not responding properly. He's got a dazed look out every time he's going to a public and important function or event or political function or whatever, and he's just dazed off and he's confused. He's having to be led by a handler, but like a little child, like you as a parent would guide your child or whatever that's just walking and stuff like that. Very uneasy. So to progress, it's not like he left office and all of a sudden, boom, it exploded, just grossly mutated, and he's now got stage 9 cancer, with maybe a possibility of hormone treatment. But let's get this out of the way right now. That's bullshit, because they're trying to say, hey, there's a good possibility. No, this man is gone. I will not be surprised if poor Joe Biden doesn't make it to the end of the year. This I think he probably had maybe visions of a small grandeur of whatever left of that man existed up here, of money and wealth or whatever. Maybe that part was taking a little bit stronger hold to see and to run for office. But everything else, he was picked. Let's make no mistake about it. He and Kamala were handpicked so they can be stoolies, so they can just be the fall people for the other people, or the one main person. And again, I cannot help but get that out of my mind, like so many of all of you people, that and it was in passing, right? It was kind of in passing, and we took it as in passing because he was asked a question. How would you run if you could for a third term? Not being possible because you're only allowed 2 terms, correct? And he laid it out pretty descriptive, and looking past, it's pretty much to the T of everything that has happened. So honestly, who was in charge? Who was making all these decisions? Because it wasn't old man Joe. I mean, dude, look at the guy. I mean, he had some horrible moments. Yeah, the stumbling on the stairs was kind of funny, and the tripping, and of course, falling over on the bicycle. But if you think about it, after the laughter's already subsided and all the jokes and puns and memes and everything, you got to stop and pause and think, wait a minute, how is this person really able to make such logical, important military and political decisions? If he's just so callously tripping and missing his cue on what stage, exit left, exit right, stand there, wait till everything's dismissed, don't just walk off before the primary dignitaries. The very absolute first person that we all should be, and I've been saying this for the first time, and even when I made the comment, someone said, oh, it's just a title, the doctor part. She's not really a doctor. Well, no. First of all, Joe Biden is always going around insisting on being called Dr. Jill Biden, presented and introduced as such, Dr. Jill Biden. Yes, it's a doctorate, it's an honor, that doesn't mean that she's a doctor, but henceforth, she is wanting to be addressed in such a manner, making it look like she's somewhat of importance, other than just a 15-year-old babysitter mistress that would soon become the first lady. Joe Biden should be incarcerated for spousal abuse. For spousal abuse of an elderly person. She let her husband be mishandled. All for profitable gains, I would say, for fame, for whatever fortune, whatever she, badly dressed and badly mannered and badly spoken as she is, terrible, wretched woman, terrible. I've been surprised if she probably had some sort of a younger person on the side, because she seems like she's kind of like one of those weird, freaky, older type of MILFs. And she's not a MILF, but in her own mind, she probably thinks she's something. Look at the way she's acted. How would you... if my wife was in a position of power or whatever and being put through, I would insist no. No. And she allowed this to happen. Out of anyone in the entire former cabinet of the Biden-Harris administration, Joe Biden should be the first one questioned, drugged in. I mean, and honestly, I would have to just... Look, when I was an in-home caregiver when I was younger, I only did it for about a year, because taking care of these patients, it just got to me. It broke my heart. And these people were just incredible minds to be deteriorated. And the one couple that I had, that was the second to the last couple that I did. Both terminal Alzheimer's, cancer. He was in better condition than she was, but every day it was a battle with her. The fire department, the police department, the city department already knew that that residence had in-home caregivers, and we had our safety word or whatever, because whenever she woke up and she would see me or someone else that was doing their turn was freaking out. Who are you? You're in my house. I'm going to call the police. Okay, you just stand there, let her call the police. There's an intruder, blah, blah, blah. And then the person already knows when the address pops up, it says, okay, this person has in-home living situation, home care, hospice care, and everything else. That's what we were terminal, because these folks wanted to pass in their homes. Fine, that's actually more dignified than passing in a home. So then the operator would say, okay, well, may I talk to the stranger that's in your house? Here, they want to talk to you, and you better leave. And I remember this. Hi, this is Charlie Salinas. My week is blah, blah, blah. Okay, can you give me one of several code words? I go, yeah, just ask which and exchange, okay, whatever. And then can you please give me the phone back to her or whatever? And that's the way it was. Every day for 7 days for a week. I was a week on, 3 days off, a week on, 3 days off, and that's the way it was. And every day was a battle, and in the afternoon, her mind was absent. The poor husband was pretty much bedridden all the time, only to go to the restroom and stuff, and then for me to go in and give him his sponge bath and change him and put his medication and his ointment and stuff in his genitalia because he was bedridden, and then rotate him because he just didn't want to get any bed sores. You see this progression every day. We saw this progression deteriorate every single day, if not every week, every month, and year by year. And during every event, how could Jill Biden turn a blind eye to her husband? Look, Joe Biden has never been much of a great politician. Liar, progressive liar, prophetic liar. Yes, liar, cheat, whatever. But he's still a human being. And as getting older and the way he was treated, they didn't give a shit. Nobody in that cabinet, not even, least of all, his own wife, gave a shit about Joe Biden. Don't be surprised. This is not going to be an unorthodox response to Joe Biden. And you're going to hear this. I don't know if you've ever heard this from anyone else or anyone, but I think there has to be some sort of retribution, there has to be justice for Joe Biden. Because the way Democrat, liberal, communist, Republic, it doesn't fucking matter. He was, whether you liked him or not, he was the president, and I did not like him. I'll say this, and I've said this many times, but he should not have been treated this way. Very undignified, very unhuman, very fucked up, very mean, and all for ill-gotten financial gains, for fame, for money, for power. And I'm looking at you, Jill Biden. Fuck you, Joe Biden, for what you did to poor Joe Biden, your husband. Wasn't him winning from his former wife enough that you had to actually drive this man literally to his grave? Joe Biden, you should be incarcerated. Yeah.